Welcome to the Business Spotlight, brought to you by 123 Internet Group. Hear from industry leaders, businesses and organisations about the topics that matter the most. Business Spotlight, the impact of COVID-19.
Right. Hi, Emilie. Thank you for joining us today on the Business Spotlight. So good to see you again. I know we haven't seen each other for quite a while, not even through Zoom, but even face to face. It's been a while.
It has been nice to see you, Scott.
And yourself. So I think the last time was you did a keynote for us at our MK Digital Summit last year, which was brilliant.
It was, yeah, and I was looking forward to it. It was actually supposed to be this week, wasn't it?
That's exactly right, yeah.
So again, we're going to be actually today.
That's it. So hopefully, not too different. You're not in a massive cinema with loads of people in front of you, but a bit of a different scenario. But yeah, it's great to have you on. And today, do you want to start by just introducing yourself, your role and what you do, the business and so on?
Yes, sure. So I'm Emilie. I work for Document Logistix Limited. We are a company based in Milton Keynes, and we provide solutions for electronic document management and workflow. And what we are promoting at the moment is that by using our solution and our software, we can help businesses literally carry on as normal during the pandemic, because they can have secure access to their documents, and also they can make sure that their staff is very efficient at home. So I don't know if you've noticed, I've noticed the first 3 weeks of lockdown were very, very quiet, very quiet. I used these first 3 weeks to do a lot of business development, to stay in touch with my customers and things like that. I probably was getting about 2 emails a week, which was very worrying. So I think people took it as a bit of an extended holiday. There was the Easter holiday coming from. People were adjusting to working from home, getting their VPN sorted, anything like that. But what we do at Document Logistix is our solution is web-based. So you don't have to do all these VPN connections and everything. Once you have the software installed, you can literally log in through the internet and you can have access to your documents, and it's extremely secure and it's extremely compliant. So Brilliant. We comply with GDPR, but also it's making sure for CEOs as MDs that they have an audit trail which tells them that their staff is working, because it can tell them when they've accessed the system, when they've logged out, when they've checked in documents, when they've checked them back in, and things like that.
Fantastic, right? There's been big changes, hasn't there? This sounds like a perfect solution. There's been big changes. Businesses are carrying on. Work is still being completed. For ourselves, we've not luckily furloughed anybody at all. So we've still got a full team, just all based from home. Which I don't know whether are you the same at the moment, or is your business?
We have been very lucky. Document Logistix is a very profitable business. We've been going since 1996, and our managing director is excellent. No one's been furloughed. The workforce is very much working from home, because we've got the solution. When we use our own solution, we've got no excuse not to do any work.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it. Exactly.
So we've got
it's a bit like ourselves, really. Yeah,
exactly.
It's exactly like ourselves. We've got no excuse, have we? Really?
But also we have recurring. We have recurring money coming from all the support contracts, because when we have a customer, they pay for support. So we have money keep coming in. Yeah. Some projects have been put on hold. I'm not going to lie. Some things have been said, right, we can't actually buy anything right now because we need to wait, or decision maker is not around, or there's been a few things like that. But really, for us, it's literally business as usual. We are working and we are doing as much as we can during the pandemic.
Yeah, I think that's the same for most people. I think, people are carrying on. There was a little stage at the start where it went a bit quiet, as you said. People have sort of got used to, I guess, the situation right now. People are at home, with technology, and by sound things, your own solutions, people can function, without having to be in those four walls of an office now. I think it's proven that, really. Do you think things are going to change sort of moving forward? Do you think there's going to be big changes in the way businesses operate?
I was hoping you would ask me this, because we actually shared an article on this on LinkedIn last week. And what is normal? Actually, normal now is we're at home with our kids and we don't have to commute to work anymore. And I think people are getting better sleep.
Yeah.
I think people are going to be a lot healthier because they're going to have more time to actually maybe put some time into their fitness. put some more time into their children. They're not going to be so stressed of having to do a 3-hour commute every single day. And with having the right technology in place, I think things are going to definitely change, and there's going to be a new normal, and there's going to be a lot more remote working after this. I'm telling you, I can predict this for sure.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, already we're even, we are quite lucky. Everyone has been at home for probably best part of 6-7 weeks now almost. We are very tech savvy, so we will have laptops, we can work remotely, things like this. It's quite normal for us, I guess, in our industries. But I think moving forward, a lot of our clients, we're going to see them doing a lot of our catch-up meetings that traditionally were face-to-face, where they just don't need to be. They can be over Zoom, it's proven. We can still share files and assets and things. So you talked about sort of spending time with your family, like yourself. I've got a wife at home, I've got two children. What impact have you had? How has that changed for you?
So homeschooling. Wow, that's interesting. I'm lucky because my child is 11, so he's in year 6. So we are getting everything through EduLink, and they are giving us assignment for them to do. But then it's not really pushy. There's some math stuff it gives them until June to do it, and we're doing some spelling. I mean, SATs are out of the window this year, so I don't think SATs are going to happen at all. So I'm lucky. I'm not involved in A levels or GCSEs or anything like that, so I'm actually lucky myself. My son has been really good, bless him. He's done his best, and we've learned a few things. But you know what? I think what's most important is their mental health. Because right now, children, they've been thrown into a world that us adults have never had to deal with, and it's just so difficult. They can't see their friends, they can't socialize. However, what they've got, again, going back to technology, they've got Fortnite, they've got iPads, and they've got things. So literally they can talk to each other all day, they can be on Zoom all day, and they can see each other. So it's actually not that bad. But being stuck at home with mum and dad all day gets a bit boring, and we do each other head in a little bit.
That's it.
Well, get out of the room, I've had enough.
I was going to say, do you think it's sort of going to bring, I guess, families and couples closer together? Do you think, obviously, certainly for myself, it's been really nice spending time with the kids a lot more. I have found that I've been sort of spending time with them during the day, in between sort of work and things like this and calls and so on. But then in the evenings, I found myself sort of slipping back into doing a little bit of work, or when they've gone to bed and everything. Are you finding the same thing, or?
No, I completely switched off. I mean, now, I still read to my child. I've done this since he was a baby. So he's, as I said, he's 11 now. So we're reading the latest David Walliams book at the moment.
Fantastic.
And, so every single night I put him to bed, and I read the story. So I read a couple of chapters to him, and we have a cuddle. But after that, I'm completely switched off. I'll go and watch telly. I'm watching SAS Who Dares Wins at the moment. I'm watching the Ricky Gervais Afterlife. You know what I mean? I'm catching up on Netflix. And
binge watching. Brilliant. I mean, I think it's really important, as you said, about sort of mental health. I mean, a lot of people I've been speaking to, we're being a lot more open, I think, this as well, which is really, really positive. There's times where I'm literally tearing my hair out, I'm sure, over the last sort of 6-7 weeks. And, we have good days and bad days. I think everyone said the same thing. I think it's being open and transparent about that as well. And taking care of yourself. I mean, we've been playing team bingos. I've been chatting to my friends, playing games and all this kind of stuff. I think that's really, really crucial at this time, isn't it?
It is, yeah. We so I don't drink alcohol that much. Usually it's only a couple of times a month, but obviously since the lockdown, every Friday it's something to look forward to. And we've been doing like online Zoom quizzes with our friends.
Nice,
and it's just been really good fun, it's just been fun because it feels like they're actually in the same room as us, and we've just had such a laugh, and you end up spending 2 or 3 hours doing quizzes about like random stuff, and it's just a lot of fun. It is fun. We're still having fun.
Have you found that you've heard from people that you perhaps wouldn't have heard from for a while? Have you reached out to new to old faces? Yes,
definitely. It has brought us together, absolutely.
Definitely. No, I completely agree. What about health then, in terms of sort of physical health? Are you sort of doing a lot of exercise at home? You know, are you going for runs, things like that, or?
Yeah, I tell you what, I'm going to show off. So we, I'm going to show you this very quickly. I don't know if you can see. Here you go. Hold on.
So, oh, fantastic.
This is
Okay,
my
so
home gym.
you've got a whole home gym set up there then.
I've got a
Brilliant.
whole gym set up in the garage.
Fantastic. So you're taking
So
it
I
seriously then, not
literally
messing about.
go to work out every single morning. I either go running
Hmm.
or I go or I do some body combat because I like
Yeah,
martial arts,
fantastic.
or I go weight training. But
Yeah,
I now work out 2 or 3 times a day, and I do a lot of walking with my son.
yeah,
So we live in Flitwick,
yeah.
and just around the corner from where we live, there's like a really big dog walk with loads of bluebells.
Hmm.
And the children have been very creative because they've created little fairy doors and put them in the trees. And
Fantastic.
it's absolutely adorable. We've actually done some ourselves, and literally you walk through the path and you've got little fairy houses everywhere, and it's absolutely adorable. And just for the children, you know, like to give them something to do, you know, like some people have been putting teddy bears in their windows, they've done the rainbows for the NHS and
Yeah,
things like that. It's just like all the and interactive things that we can do with the kids. So that's the thing. Like in Flitwick, we've got the ferries. So if you ever want to come for a dog walk, come around here because it's absolutely lovely and extraordinary.
sounds great. No, it's awesome. And it's nice to get out and about, isn't it? I know we've got to be very careful at the moment as well, you know, about isolation and sort of distancing and so on. But I think, you know, it's really important to get out in that fresh air actually still, and, you know, stretch your legs and do things like that. It's crucially important. You know, key workers, the people at the NHS as well. I mean, they're doing obviously amazing jobs. You know, I've heard stories of
Amazing.
them working 7 days back to back, extended hours. They're really giving their all at the moment, aren't they?
Those guys should get a pay rise. All the money
Absolutely.
that's being raised at the moment, the nurses, the nurses, the doctors, everybody who's on the front line right now, they are saving our lives. I mean, look at everybody wanted to know, follow celebrities on Instagram and follow whoever. Those people are completely irrelevant right now because they're not doing anything. It's the
Mm.
normal people who are actually saving the world right now, and they need to be compensated money wise or non-money wise. I don't care how people are doing it, but something needs to change because they are the people who are saving us and they are
Yeah,
saving our lives. So
that's it. No, they're definitely the unsung heroes, aren't they? I mean, I know, you know, we've got the, you know, the ongoing claps for them. We've had, you know, silences for, unfortunately, those that lost their lives and so on. But, you know, there's so much more that needs to be done for them, I think, as that whole group of people that have been supporting us throughout this whole process. And I hope, obviously, the government do something there to sort of recognise that even more than they already have. You said also as well, obviously, sort of returning and sort of post-COVID. I mean, what does that look like to you? We've already said, you know, at the start of the conversation that things I think are going to change for businesses. Have you started to put plans in place? I know it's very difficult because no one knows dates or things like this as yet. Have you even discussed sort of what that might look like in terms of returning to work at the moment?
well, I am at work,
Well,
so
this is it. Yeah.
yeah. So and you know what, Scott, I was working from home a lot before anyway because I'm a
Mm,
salesperson.
right.
If I'm not on the road, I was working from home anyway. I was only going to
Yeah.
the office on Tuesdays to have my catch up with my managing director and to do our sales meeting every 2 weeks. But now we do that on Zoom,
Hmm.
okay? And so I am at work anyway. So I don't feel like I'm going to have to return to work
Sure.
because for me it's business as usual.
Great. Fantastic mentality to have as well. I mean, I think again, if you've been used to working from home, you know, this is probably feeling quite normal, dare I say it, you know. I think for others, you know, that we've spoken to, the idea of sort of having staff working remotely has been a bit of a change for them, I think. So they're sort of really thinking hard about how that looks like when they return back. Do they continue with remote working? Do they look at other things? So yeah, it's quite interesting, isn't it? How that's going to look for people. And again, with the uh, you know, post sort of COVID scenario, do you think companies are gonna, the ones that have been hit quite hard, like hospitality, for example, do you think they're going to come back quite strong, hopefully?
I hope so. I really hope so. There's so much at the moment. Everyone is. I mean, people are suffering. The food industry is suffering. The pubs are suffering. The restaurants are suffering. I'm really just hoping that literally, as soon as this is over, like everybody's going to make a lot of money. Everybody's going to have a massive street party. We're all going to be like filling up pubs and having loads of fun. And yeah, money is going to be able to be made again. But it's just so tough. There's actually really tough questions, because in my own selfish little world, I'm not really that affected, but I can understand. But all I know is that as soon as this is over, I'll definitely be contributing to going out and like spending money out and going to the pub and doing all this kind of stuff.
Well, I say that response is very similar to all the people I've been speaking to. Everyone wants to sort of get back tomorrow, go for a drink and have a meal and things like that and celebrate, really, don't they? So great. I mean, sort of starting to wind up. I mean, obviously as a business, you've been continuing to support your clients and so on. What sort of things have you been doing directly? What sort of perhaps promotions have you been doing, offering advice and things like that?
So, okay. So we are trying to, I'm just trying to find the right words to say. There's two parts of our system. There's a rich client part of the system, which is you have to install on each machine of the computer, which is a pain in the butt to actually, keep track of.
Sure.
And then we have the web module, okay, which is the latest DLX product. And as I said, you can just work from anywhere in the world. We can have remote access to anything. And really what I'm trying to do is to get all my customers who are still on the old version to move on to the web, even if that means just like very, very much reducing the cost, anything like that, just to make sure that they can carry on business as usual. Because we are dealing with accountancy firms, legal firms, we're dealing with logistics firms, we're dealing with people all across every sector, we're dealing with finance teams who have to process their invoices, HR people who have to have access to HR documents. So literally what we're trying to do is literally push the web solution to them a lot harder and say, guys, you really need this right now. And also to stop the support calls, because they're trying to put the rich client on the wrong devices and then it doesn't work. So we get loads of support calls and then they go, why aren't they on that version of the system? We are really, really keeping in touch with everybody, making sure that they're okay and making sure that they're actually benefiting for the best of the system.
Fantastic. I mean, you mentioned as well, so just wrapping up, that you had a facility that they can do sort of these online signatures and things like that. Do you want to tell me a little bit about that as well?
Yes. So we have, so at the moment, for example, if you are in the system and you want to use the workflow in the system to approve of documents. So for example, I can send it to you, Scott, and it would tell me in the system that Scott has it and that you've approved it, and you can put like a little digital stamp on it saying approved on that date by Scott, send back to Emilie. So you've got a full audit trail which tells you what to do.
Fantastic.
But businesses, sometimes they want something a bit more than that. That little stamp is not enough. So they actually want to have the wet signature on the document. But on an electronic document, it's difficult to actually do a wet signature. So we have partnered with a company called Validate ID, and it's like a DocuSign, but it's a lot cheaper and it's a lot better. Okay. And what it does is they basically keep a template of your wet signature, and when you receive the document, you will get a PIN code that only you have access to, so you will be able to put your wet signature on a document. And then it means that the compliance is there because it was only you who had access to the PIN code. And then you can literally have the same principle as literally getting the document in front of you and putting it and putting a signature on it. I have just done my remortgage last week. Wow. And that was a pain in the butt. And I tell you why, because first, we're not allowed to speak to anyone. So I had to go around to my neighbor's houses for witness signature. Okay. Right. I had to post the paperwork through there and say, do you mind be a witness and post this? And it was if I had the system then, if I had access to that, then it would have been so much easier, so much easier. So for mortgage companies, for people who need to sign legal documents, anything like that. It's going to be very, very, very useful. Also, I usually require wet signature when I ask for my MD to sign a non-disclosure agreement.
Sure.
So I need to literally send him the paperwork. He needs to print it, sign it, scan it back to me. Now with Validate ID, literally we can cut 4 steps into one.
Brilliant.
So literally, that's it. You get a piece of thing, you put your PIN code, your wet signature has been added to it, and it's been sent back to me, and off it goes. You don't have to print, scan, and do all this stuff that, you know, that is wasting so much time.
So it sounds absolutely perfect. I mean, we use that, you know, sort of process, you know, ourselves. We certainly find it speeds that process up as well, doesn't it? You know, and by sounds you get those physical documents as well as PDFs that you can store obviously on file as well if you ever need to refer back to them with those signatures on, which is crucial again. So that sounds great. I mean, again, it's another great example of things that are changing for the better, I think, isn't it? People are becoming more efficient. We're using technology now. We're going through that transformation, which is so important for so many different types of businesses. So brilliant. Well, look, thank you for joining me today.
Welcome.
It's great to catch up. Great to hear how you've been responding. Business as usual to a certain extent for yourself, you know, working from home, staying fit, looking after your mental health, which is fantastic. So yeah, hopefully when we get out of this, I look forward to meeting up again and grabbing a few drinks with you.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much, Scott. And you take care and stay safe.
No problem at all. Thanks a lot.
Okay.
Take care.
Thanks for watching. If you need advice with your digital marketing, please feel free to reach out to 123 Internet Group or visit www.123internet.agency to find out more about our services.